Well, welcome to the 700 Club. Israeli fighter jets bombed Hezbollah drone factories in Beirut yesterday, and Gaza has become even more complicated.
Israel is turning to an unlikely source for help in defeating Hamas in Gaza. Julie Stahl brings us the latest developments from Jerusalem.
Israel has been arming a family clan, sometimes called a militia, in Gaza in order to strengthen opposition to Hamas. Israeli opposition leader Avigdor Lieberman leaked that information to Israeli media, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu did not deny the report.
On the advice of security officials, we activated clans in Gaza that oppose Hamas. What's wrong with this? This is only good and saves the lives of IDF soldiers. The publication of this only benefits Hamas, but Lieberman doesn't care.
The group, led by Yasser Abu Shabab, has been documented operating in an area near the Kerem Shalom border crossing that is under Israeli military control and where aid trucks enter Gaza. It has about 300 members, which Hamas sees as a thorn in its flesh. That report comes as the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has closed all of its aid distribution sites in Gaza for now, saying they will be reopened later. The sites were closed after shootings near the aid locations earlier this week. Meanwhile, Israel has assured the U.S. it will not strike Iran's nuclear facilities unless President Trump makes it clear that negotiations with Iran have failed, according to Axios. But in another sign that Iran is building up its military program, the Wall Street Journal reports Iran has ordered material from China for hundreds of ballistic missiles. President Trump says he cautioned Netanyahu not to launch an attack on Iran while talks are ongoing. But Trump also said his stand could change with a phone call if talks with Iran aren't making progress. In another show of U.S. support for Israel, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced sanctions against 4 judges on the International Criminal Court, saying they are directly involved in The Hague's efforts to prosecute Israeli and U.S. nationals for alleged war crimes in Gaza. The decision follows Hungary's earlier move to withdraw from the ICC rather than arrest Netanyahu when he came to visit.
If you check the voting records at the UN General Assembly, you will find a few countries, just a few countries from Europe, opposing every and each anti-Israeli, anti-Zionist resolution. Hungary is among those countries.
And in Lebanon, Israel warned Lebanese civilians to leave specific areas before it struck Hezbollah drone production sites and storage facilities in Beirut and southern Lebanon used by the Hezbollah aerial unit. The IDF says Hezbollah has launched more than 1,000 explosive and reconnaissance UAVs at Israel since the beginning of the war. The IDF says Hezbollah is working to produce thousands of drones under the direction and funding of Iranian terrorists as part of Iran's efforts to harm the state of Israel. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, I'm sorry to report that the food distribution in Gaza has been shut down because of these Palestinian groups that have been armed, and whether it's Hamas or this other group that was apparently cooperating with the IDF. What they're doing is they're shooting Palestinians who are trying to get to the humanitarian aid. And so all the aid had to be shut down for the safety of the people. You don't want to have a choice of you're going to be shot to death or you're going to get food. It's incredible to me that Israel would cooperate with some kind of militia gang in Gaza on the theory that, well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and we need some kind of counterbalancing force against Hamas. This isn't the first time in Israel's history that this has happened. As Israel withdrew from southern Lebanon back in the 1980s, they had a similar alliance with militias in southern Lebanon. That didn't work out, and it's not going to work out in Gaza today. There's a biblical precedent as well. A king of Judah tried to hire other soldiers from Israel, and in that, a prophet of God came and warned them. And this is the warning from 2 Chronicles 25, verse 8. If you let them go with your troops into battle, you will be defeated by the enemy no matter how well you fight. God will overthrow you, for he has the power to help you or to trip you up. Israel needs to be clean from this kind of activity, not arming other militias in Gaza in some vain hope that it'll counterbalance Hamas. The key for peace in Gaza is disarmament. It's not allowed to have weapons inside of Israel. You have to be either part of the police or part of the IDF. And that same standard should be the standard for Gaza. We're seeing the aftermath of it, where the humanitarian aid, the food that was needed by the citizens of Gaza, is now stopped because of this alliance. Let's not continue it. I hope they shut it down and shut it down very quickly. In other news, one of the largest pro-Israel events in the U.S. has been postponed indefinitely because of growing terror threats. John Jessup has that story and more from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
Thanks, Gordon. The event, called the Israel Summit, was expected to draw more than 1,000 people from across the United States and by live stream. Organizers had already had to move the event once because of threats. Israel Summit organizer Luke Hilton told CBN News what happened.
There were groups of jihadi Americans. I mean, honestly, there's nothing else to call them, because this is now spreading all across America, calling to target, quote, target the Israel Summit and to target the venue and the organization that was hosting us. And unfortunately, because of this, there was just no other option except to indefinitely postpone next week's Israel Summit. What it feels like is that Jews and Christians can no longer gather publicly in support of Israel and America.
Despite postponing, Hilton promises there will be a bigger, better Israel Summit in the U.S., where people won't be afraid to come together to support Israel. For more on this story and the full interview, you can go to cbnnews.com. Well, possible signs of a break in the war of words between President Trump and Elon Musk. Politico's reporting White House aides scheduled a phone call today to possibly broker peace between the two. Other political allies are also supporting a truce, with Musk signaling his potential willingness to go along. CBN's Charlene Aaron brings us this look at how the verbal battle escalated.
After months of solidarity and mutual praise between the two leaders, the rift began with Musk's criticism of President Trump's big, beautiful bill, with both men engaging in a war of words on social media. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination, Musk posted on X Tuesday. Trump responding by saying Musk knew what was in the package.
I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate.
But Musk says he was never shown the bill after the president said he knew what was in it. Musk, who reportedly spent at least $250 million to help re-elect Trump, went on to claim, without me, Trump would have lost the election, something the president denies.
I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway.
The president also posting Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everybody to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew I was going to do, and he just went crazy. Trump also threatening to terminate Musk's government subsidies and contracts, a move that could devastate the billionaire's bottom line. Tesla stock sank Thursday on news of Musk and Trump's falling out. In response, Musk said he would decommission the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft, a capsule used to take astronauts and supplies to the International Space Station, but he later backed away from the idea. Musk also dropped what he called the really big bomb, claiming that President Trump has ties to Jeffrey Epstein, who was accused of sex trafficking. Musk didn't offer any proof, but said the truth would come out. When asked about the issue, the president did not respond.
Mr. President, any response to Elon Musk?
The former head of Doge also suggested support for a new third party. It's time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle, Musk wrote in a post on X. Meanwhile, political observers expected a likely breakup between two such powerful personalities, but maybe not in such a public fashion. Now, many Republicans and conservatives are hoping that a reconciliation might be possible. Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Thank you, Charlene. Well, right here in Washington, the Supreme Court ruled 9-0 Thursday that a Catholic charity in Wisconsin cannot be forced to pay unemployment taxes when other religious groups are exempt. State officials argued the organization did not qualify for an exemption because its day-to-day work doesn't involve religious teachings. The High Court sided with a Catholic charities group after the organization argued the state violated its First Amendment guarantee of freedom of religion. Well, locals say a move of God is stirring in upstate South Carolina, and they're calling it the beginning of a revival. It's bringing churches from across the state together for a big crusade this weekend. CBN's Wendy Griffith has the story.
I believe you died for me.
Evangelist Jacob Ebersole of World Harvest Ministry says something special is happening in upstate South Carolina.
What's happening right now is something that we couldn't even dream or imagine. We give all glory to God. People from all the way from Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, Gaffney, honestly, all the way to Myrtle Beach and even into other states, North Carolina, are getting word of this crusade that is coming June 6th, 7th, and 8th.
For 2 years, Ebersole's been holding events to inspire and equip the local church for this 3-day gospel outreach that he says is stoking the fires of revival.
People are getting saved in the highways and the byways, in the prisons, but not only getting saved, going on mission, getting plane tickets to some of our crusades overseas. You know, there's been prophetic words that the upstate of South Carolina would be a light unto the nations, and we are starting to step into that now.
Ebersole, an international evangelist who's preached all over the world, said it was time to shine the light of Christ in his hometown.
The event starts that night, June 6th at 7, but every night, starting at 5:30, we're going to feed the city. We're trying to feed 3,000 to 4,000 people per night. It's something that the churches have come together to pull off. It's a massive undertaking. If you want to be a part of the gospel choir, come early every night before 7, and we're going to worship together.
And what's so unique about this event is the unity. Congregations, big and small, crossing racial and denominational lines to preach the gospel.
Literally, churches from Spartanburg County, the inner city, where the crusade's going to happen, have come together. All different backgrounds, denominations, breaking down racial barriers. It's the Lord doing it, but it's definitely been something that we've worked very hard for.
Their main goal, to see as many people come to Jesus as possible.
And Jacob, you're not finished after Spartanburg. What happens after that?
So after Spartanburg, we're heading to the capital of South Carolina. And after that, we plan on hitting the 12 major cities all across the state. We're not stopping in Spartanburg. It's go time.
Wendy Griffith, CBN News.
And again, the Spartanburg Crusade is tonight through Sunday at the fairgrounds in Spartanburg, South Carolina. You can find more information on cbnnews.com. It is exciting to see.